This time on STV, we're visiting a couple of the partners that help us bring you the show, which will get going right after this. STV is brought to you by Zox Helmets, a clear view for every adventure. Ultimax Belts, performance driven, performance proven. And by Best Western Hotels and Resorts. This time on STV, we're visiting two of our important sponsors to learn more about their products and services. First up is a Canadian success story in the world of power sports suspensions, Elka. Based in Montreal, this brand began life in a garage and is now globally recognized for their shock systems.
Elka started as a small team here in a garage near Boucherville. It was actually three guys, all passionate by motorsports, and the name actually comes from their last name. So it was Lamoureux and Kingsley, and LK, both first letters, and it led eventually to Elka. They were all passionate by the ATV market and everything related to shock absorbers. And they saw a gap in the market of the aftermarket shock industry, and they actually thought they could fill that gap. So in their small garage, they teamed up with racers from all across the world, and they developed the best aftermarket shock absorbers that money could buy back then. And the market was really simple at the time. It was not like it is today. It was maybe 4 or 5 models composing maybe 90% of the market. We're talking about the Yamaha Banshee and the Honda TRX 250R. So it was way simpler back then, and they focused on these models with pro riders, and they actually developed the best shock back then. And to this day, we're still focusing on building custom to-order shock absorbers focused with personalized support to make the best ride for everyone specifically. Elka is still the only brand focusing 100% on a user-centric approach, where some of our competitors will kind of force a off-the-shelf generic valving solution for your machine, where let's say it's a TRX 450R. We're gonna have different options for you, whether you're recreational riding just in the trails with your family, or if you're actually pushing it in a GNCC race or a ATV MX race, we're actually gonna have something different for these two riders. Without saying some companies copied us, the user-centric approach took a really bigger step, and now we see companies trying to focus on getting the customer what he really wants. It's not always about giving the highest performance, most adjustable shock. Sometimes it's just getting a nice, comfortable shock that does the job 100% of the time without any more like suspension tuning knowledge required. We're the only manufacturer in Canada that actually makes aftermarket shock absorbers for the snowmobile market. And the snowmobiling is born in Quebec, in our backyard, right? We're from Quebec. The whole team is here from Quebec, and it's in our DNA. We're actually born in the snow. We like snowmobiling, and even though it might not be as important of a market as, let's say, our ATV market in terms of numbers, it's still in our DNA. We're passionate about it, so it's important for us to be able to give enthusiasts that share this passion the shocks they deserve and they need. We're still approaching the market the same way we used to approach the ATV market. We're still based on our racing DNA, but we translate that to the actual customer to fulfill their needs. So we're still going to listen to their customer and give them what they need for their style of riding. It also has been introduced into the snowmobile market because we also have people that will ride trails, so we'll focus on maybe the stage 1 that will be an OEM replacement, but we also have the stage 5 with all the adjustability you need to actually push it forward if you're going on a mountain to push it to the limits. Well, we have a really nice range of dealers all across the country and the United States, but you can also just directly call us. We'll be happy to guide you through the process, and if you give us the different parameters, like let's say you give us your type of riding, your weight, what you do if you're always bringing someone on a snowmobile with you, we'll make sure you have the actual good set of shocks for your riding specifically. So we have different options, and we're going to guide you, and we're not going to force you to buy the Stage 5 shocks with the most adjustability and the biggest pricing. We're actually going to try and give you what you need for your riding. We're actually partnered up with Dealer Accelerated Technologies, John Sherrard there, who's kind of a prolific figure in the snowmobiling world, knows everything there is to know about this. And if you need Elka products, XL Tech, John Sherrard will be able to help you. And we're actually partnering up with him for our development of the various range of products. You know, the snowmobiling market is always evolving. It's an ever-growing demand for different models, and the manufacturer keep coming up with new models every year. So we're partnering up with him to actually be able to fulfill that demand and the growing market, and we want them to reach the ride they want. We want them to not even think about their shock absorbers. We want them to think about the fun they're having on their sleds, and even if that's a Stage 1, an OEM replacement that will work 100% of the time and will just make you have a great day without even having to think about the adjustability, we're happy. We just want the customer to be happy, enjoy his day, enjoy his passion, because at the end of the day, that's what we would want.
Coming up after the break, the conversation continues with Elka with Jan Petrie, Elka's aftermarket product and racing program manager. This segment is brought to you by Camso. At Elka, one of the reasons for the success of their products is the people behind the brand, who are all enthusiasts and hardcore racers themselves. And one of those guys is Jan, who met up with us at the Elka facility not long after getting back from the Dakar Rally.
So my role here at Elka is pretty particular. So as a racing program manager, I take care of all the racers and their sponsorship programs, their support also at the races. And as a product manager, I make sure that I bring all the knowledge of the industry and the on-site, like testing stuff, back to the office for marketing, sales, and engineering. So Elka is present in multiple areas of racing. We do GNCC, we do ATV MX, we do some desert racing, we do some rock racing, short course racing. So we make sure that we're present in most of the areas where our products are used, just to make sure that we understand every application and every variable that we need to dominate. Yeah, so mostly racing is used to push the limits and push the envelope, make sure that we have the best shock available. And that translates back to some lower performance shocks like our Stage 1, Stage 2s, and Stage 3s that are for everybody that just want to enjoy a great ride and great control. But at the beginning, it all started in racing. So normally, I mean, in a race, if you go to Baja or even maybe the Dakar, you would get an entire lifespan of product being like thrown at it within a day or a week. So that accelerated process helps us actually understand what happens for the whole life of our product, and we can make adjustment to make it work. Like for everybody, it's going to work probably their whole lifetime. Before it's a racer, it is so abusive and so hot and so hardcore that it's going to destroy it or even break the shock within a week. At Elka, we have multiple product lines. Either it's the truck, the side-by-side, the snowmobile, the quads, the utility stuff. I mean, everything comes from racing. So we go in that specific area, find some great racers, and we team and partner up with them and make sure that we build a good setup for their race program. And from that, we down-tune it and downgrade it for everybody to be more accessible and more budget-friendly. So one of the biggest challenge in product development is to make sure that it fits its needs. So what happened is we can design any shock on a computer and make it look great, but once you haven't tested in the field and push it, you don't know if it's going to work well. So one of the most difficult thing is to go from design to application. So we have to design, test, design multiple times, and then when we're confident, we introduce it to the racing world. Field testing is probably the most important in a shock. Anybody can build a tube and put oil in it and just call it a shock, but at the end it has to work well. The best people to understand the application and make sure that it works really well are the professional drivers. And that's why we team up with racers and professional race programs just to make sure that our shock works well and all our design internal are made to match this performance. So our racers are there to prove the program, prove the concept. And once we get the validation from the racers, internally we have a team here that go out and tune for specific needs. Let's say in a utility you want something that's very comfortable and let's say can handle more payload. So that's something that we're going to tune specifically to do. In the snowmobile market, we'll tune our shocks to make them comfortable, has the best drivability, and make sure we can hit those big hits when you just try to have some fun. So no, we really take the time to tune for a customer base per product line.
So far, we've been mainly focusing on the dirt side of things at Elka, but they've also been quietly increasing their presence in the snowmobile market as well through places like Accelerated Technologies. After the break, Jan is going to tell us about the importance of the snow market for Elka. This segment is brought to you by Yamaha. Accelerated Technologies and the guru behind that brand, John Sherrard, is someone we featured on STV a number of times. Now, he's the type of fella that after a conversation with him, you always feel just a little bit smarter, and when it comes to snowmobile suspensions, I can't think of anyone any better. Now, John and Elka have been working together for a number of years now, and this partnership is a big part of Elka's growing success in the snowmobile market.
In the snowmobile market, we really partner up with people that are oriented to our customer clients. So one of the things that we do is that we find the best possible partner and we team up with them and make sure that they can help us achieve these high performance conditions for our customers. One of the key features of our Elka shocks is that we make them specifically tuned for the rider. So if you have a specific application, we're going to take time and answer all of your questions, but we'll take time to understand your application and your conditions in which you ride on, and we'll make sure that your suspension setup is perfect for your application. So the customer-focused approach has gained a lot in importance in the industry. Like people started to understand that a shock needs to be tuned to work well. So we see more and more companies doing them, mostly probably distributors or companies that focus on shock tuning. But coming from a shock manufacturer, it's pretty rare to see that because it's a lot of time, it's a lot of energy for us to put in developing these shocks. But it's the way we've been doing forever. So having a specifically tuned shock is extremely important. You know, like suspension is extremely relative. What you're going to like is not something that I'm going to like. So to make sure that we're the closest point possible to great performance, we have to understand the variables, and that's your weight and your riding condition and where you live, and are you more of a mountain person or a trail person? And with that information, we have so much knowledge in-house that we can specifically tune the shock for you, so you'll be super happy with the ride. You won't have a mountain shock trying to trail ride. That's not going to work. All of our product development and shock tuning is specifically made throughout all of our stages. From stage 1 to 5, you get the same customization that makes sure that you get great performance. So stage 1 is going to be a shock to replace your OE shock. It's cost effective, it works extremely well, it's been valved correctly, sprung correctly, but it has no external adjustment. The stage 2 will be the same thing, but with a rebound adjustment, because the rebound adjustment is the most important adjustment, we think. The stage 3, you get more and more adjustability. So you get an external remote reservoir shock that has more oil capacity, compression damping adjustment externally, And you get also the ride height adjustment, which is the same thing through all of the stages. Then going to stage 4, if you want to have like more performance, you're going to have the same thing as a stage 3, but we added some rebound adjustment for more precise control. And if you want the top of the line, fully adjustable, high speed, low speed compression with rebound, you're gonna have to go to the stage 5. So stage 5 is the ultimate adjustable shock at Elka. You get all the possible adjustment, low speed, high speed compression, rebound adjustment, ride height, and if you have a crossover and a dual spring, you can also adjust the crossover location. So a lot of people are intimidated about all these adjustments on our shock. You have to play with them. Just work through it, play with them, and if you have any questions, we have a good network of dealers that can help you and educate you so you can start and getting your shocks working the way you want. If you do what you like in life, you're going to do well. That's what I think. And when you're passionate about something, you do the extra work, you put the extra thinking into it, and you make that extra effort to make it work. And when you're a great team of passionate people, you can achieve so much more.
Updating any sled or ATV or side-by-side or even truck or SUV with Elka products will take your experience to the next level, whether you're a hardcore racer in any of these disciplines or just someone who wants a better trail ride experience. Anytime I've had the opportunity to ride an Elka-equipped vehicle, you can almost instantly feel the difference in the ride as the smile grows on your face. Coming up after the break, we're connecting with Motovan and their Zox brand of helmets. This segment is brought to you by Best Western. Zox is our brain bucket supplier for the 2025 season of STV. Now this is a brand that brings full-featured helmets to the entire power sports world at an exceptional value. To tell us more about Zox and the company behind these lids, we had the chance to speak with Fred Mercier of Motovan.
Motovan is a family-run business. It started in 1980, founded by Carlo Palladino. Carlo immigrated from Italy and worked at a local dealership in Montreal. And he always thought that there was something missing at the distribution level. So I started his own company out of his garage in his Montreal home. Started distributing batteries, tires, plugs, all kinds of parts. And over the years grew in what it is today. Carlo has always been really passionate about helmets. So he worked with a lot of factories in the old days, different brands, existing brands, some that don't exist anymore. And when we thought that something needed to be done or modified, for example, a snow helmet, it was always a slow process. And we needed things to move faster. So it was one of his dreams was to start his own helmet company and to get things done in a timely manner and the way he wanted things done. What we wanted is like the best helmet possible, the best features, as comfortable as possible at a certain price point. Yeah, so the helmet for the masses, if we can say, right? So that was always the main goal for Zox and for the family, is to have the best possible helmet for the consumer at the best price possible. The thought behind creating our own brand was snow initially, but yeah, we expanded into street, full face, flip-ups, motocross, and yeah, it was just a natural evolution of the brand. You know, when we started, there wasn't that many brands out there, and now we all know there's a lot of brands out there. But the biggest challenge was just to stay relevant within the market, so just keep, you know, trying to find new technology, whether it's to try to make the helmets lighter, more comfortable, better vision, better shields, everything. So it's just to evolve with the market. I think even compared to the street side of helmets, snowmobile, the elements, the cold, the shift in temperatures, It's always more of a challenge to create a snow helmet than a street helmet. So the evolution, we started from double shields, and then the electric heated shield came into play. And then, so that has never stopped evolving. And obviously the interior, whether it's the breath guards, the masks, which we called, there's been a lot of evolution with that. We just came out with our brand new flip-up helmet, which is based off of our hit snow helmet, which is called the Zox Condor, which has been around for almost 10 years now. So designing the new helmet is we wanted to try and keep what made the Condor a success, and the end user, the consumer, really likes the ability to open it up. So point number one, it had to stay flip up. Being a flip up, but open the eye port, because that's one of the trends that probably everybody notices on snowmobile helmets, is the eye port is getting bigger and bigger. So how to get the eye port bigger? In this case, we have a electric heated shield, so to have that functioning well, even though the elements are further away. So that was key. You don't want that middle portion like fogging up and then freezing. So we worked hard on that with the factory, but a lot of back and forth, but we nailed it, and yeah, we're really proud of this helmet. It is exciting. That's what keeps us going, right? It's the passion. It's the passion of the industry, the dealers, the consumers. It's a big family, and yeah, we just love it, and we won't stop.
Thanks for watching this episode of STV. Till next time, keep the rubber side down. STV has been brought to you by Yamaha, revs your heart. The Toronto International Snowmobile, ATV, and Power Sports Show. And by Elka, your ride, your way. Hey, thanks for watching. If you like what you've seen, please hit that like and subscribe button.